Welcome to the adventures of TNT, and tonight we will be exploring Mercyful Fate. Guys, let me know if you can hear and if you can see me, if everything sounds alright. We're gonna get started in just a second. Happy Sunday, I hope y'all are doing alright. Alright. So once again, we are going to be exploring Mercyful Fate tonight. Now, as for my getup, of course, it is Halloween. It's my favorite time of the year. And I was doing a Halloween function just a little while ago. So sorry for being late. But we're ready. We're here. We're ready to rock out and listen to some good tunes. Now, I am not familiar with this band. I'm familiar with King Diamond. I know what King Diamond has done. Mercyful Fate is a band that I've always wanted to explore, to really hear the roots of this band. Now, what I have learned from them is that their debut album we're about to check out, Melissa, came out in 1983, but is also, or the band is also considered an early pioneer for extreme metal, along with Bathory and Venom. Mercyful Fate is considered one of the early bands that influenced the genre of black metal. So I am excited for that because I am a fan of black metal. And I'm kind of curious to hear the roots of that because I haven't explored bands like Venom or Bathory. So I think for me, this is going to be like good, I guess, metal history for me. Oh, the chat. Let me fix that. Yeah, if you're in the chat tonight, say what's up. Hope y'all are doing all right. And if you're a fan of Mercyful Fate or even King Diamond, let me know. Now, and I will say this. This stream was actually inspired partly by Skates because he put me onto a Mercyful Fate song. I sampled through it, Satan's Fall. I listened to maybe about 30 seconds or a minute of it. And, what I've heard was really good. And so I was like, yo, I wonder if this album is actually worth checking out. And I took some suggestions from y'all in the chat and y'all were like, yeah, y'all were like, go ahead and check out the album. It's a banger. So here we are. But if y'all have any suggestions, maybe this album isn't that great and I should do another album, let me know in the comment section and we'll go ahead and we'll start there. But anyway, yeah, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. But we're gonna go ahead and get this kicked off in just a second. Let me go ahead and bring this up. So once again, yes, I am doing a full album reaction to Mercyful Fate's Melissa. There's about 7 tracks on here, and let me see. This thing's about 40 minutes long. Okay. And as always, guys, I allow y'all to be as vocal as you want. So let me know what you think about the music that we're listening to. Even if you think the song sucks, you're not hurting anybody's feelings by letting me know that the song isn't good. And if you ever been to a King Diamond or a Mercyful Fate show, how was it? Because as I said, these guys were the early adapters for extreme metal, and even like the darker side of metal. So I'm curious how that compared to bands like Judas Priest or Scorpions or even some of the hard rock guys like Motley Crue. Because from what I've heard is that these guys were pretty satanic. I was having this conversation with Tasha earlier. Some bands out there, they like to play up the imagery. They like to act like they're part of the occult, or they make music about the occult, but they weren't really about that. And we see that now because a lot of them, became born again Christians and all that. But from what I heard, like King Diamond, Merciful Fate, these guys were like, they was really about that shit. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to jump into this. Let me see. Let me bring this up. We're going to hear what these guys are really about. Now, when I do these album reactions, a lot of times I like to follow along with the lyrics. So I can kind of read the lyrics. And then I give my interpretations and thoughts of the music. So let me see. All right. Oh, you saw them in concert? Last year? What? Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Let's put this behind over here. Oh, wait. That's... Okay. Let me just move that down. Okay. Now we're in business. All right. Let's go ahead and check this out. All right, I'm ready. The first track on the album, this is Evil. Heather, what's up? Guys, if you're watching with me tonight in the chat, make sure you say what's up. Warren J. Beerhound, what's good, man? Bad Brad. right, guys, that was Mercyful Fate with Evil. That was the first track on this album. Yeah, and it indeed sounded pretty evil. Now, it's very interesting hearing this, which it dropped in 1983, which seems to have been a big year for metal. And the things that I'm picking up is how different it may have been from some of the other bands that were coming out at the time. Because I think for the most part, metal music, especially early metal music, it sounded very similar to hard rock. And of course, there were bands out there that kind of pushed the envelope of how hard rock could be. And that's when you seen the emergence of heavy metal. But also, what bands did to kind of push the envelope was talk about, I guess, I want to say sensitive or taboo subject matters. And one of the, I think one of the conversations that I had with many of y'all in the chat was, what happened? What happened between the 70s and the 80s to where metal ended up the way it did? How did it become so evil? Because we've heard stuff from in the 70s with Judas Priest. But somewhere along the lines, between 1976 and 83, everything just went to shit. And it just turned evil. And all of a sudden you see demons, satanic images, you're seeing pentagrams, and all this other stuff. And I guess this is a good segue into that. Because when I think about it, nobody was really doing this. And I'm looking at the lyrics here with this first song. And it's literally about a guy who is waiting he said, I was born in the cemetery under the sign of the moon, raised from my grave by the dead. I was made a mercenary of Hell's Legion. This is a corpse. I love to hear you cry. I love to feel you die. I'll dig your body up again and make love to shame. Now, I know a lot of teenagers were probably listening to this shit in the 80s, but I can imagine if parents got their hands on this and they knew what their kids were listening to, they would shit a brick. It's terrible. All right, we're gonna keep things going with the next song. Yeah, some Ted Bundy shit. It's evil. And you know, it's funny because, or interesting, because a lot of metal bands that were talking about certain subject matters, they weren't talking about corpses and digging up graves and shit, or making love to corpses. Oof. All right. But we're gonna keep things going with the next song. Y'all can leave your thoughts in the comment section. Musically, this is pretty good. I liked it. Nice early heavy metal track. You said they started censoring music. Yeah. It was like because of shit like this. It was like after the I guess PMRC start hearing about music like this, that's when they start censoring it. Because I can imagine like the 70s rockers, they were probably like, what is this evil stuff? But anyway, let's go ahead and get to this next song. This is Curse of the Pharaohs. All right, let's go. Oh, yeah. And I'm sorry, y'all. One of the things that I really do enjoy about King Diamond is his falsetto styling. I know it's not for everyone. I know some metalheads, they're like, yo, I can't stand it. But for those of us who are fans, we really like it when he hits those falsetto notes and then he gets real guttural. But anyway. Connie, what's up? All right, guys, that was "Curse of the Pharaoh," of "Curse of the Pharaoh" by Mercyful Fate. Y'all can leave your thoughts and your numbers in the chat. Let me know what you thought about this song. So I thought this was a great song. Great blend of rock and roll and heavy metal. Not too much, and a little bit lighter compared to the previous song. Now, if for some reason I did kind of get a Maiden vibe from the galloping bass line, because it made me think about Iron Maiden's Power Slave. And so I had to look it up and do my comparisons like I always do, because that's just how my brain functions. And Power Slave came out in 1984, so it came out a year after this. So, but anyway, we're gonna keep things going. Let's go ahead and jump into this next song. which you know, I'm surprised. This was okay. It was a little bit more tamed. I was thinking that they were gonna go, you know, a little bit darker, but let's go. This is Into the Crown, or Into the Coven. I'm sorry. Guys, oh, you know what? For music that's supposed to be dark and evil, these guys know how to make an incredible groove. Because they are jamming. This is a jam right here. Listen to that intro. And when that shit breaks down, So initially going into this song, I was thinking to myself, I was like, damn, this is a good groove. For an evil band, these guys know how to play some damn instruments. They know how to rock, they know how to groove, the melodies were on point. This song had almost an angelic kind of vibe to it. And if you're not listening to the lyrics, you can easily get lost in the music. And it did have all the little, I guess, nuances and things that King Diamond fans love about his vocals. You know, he hit the high falsetto notes, and then he comes down, come into my Coven. Sorry, I can't sing. So far, this is my favorite track. I loved it. This is a nice groove. And although I felt like the Curse of the Pharaoh was kind of a deviation from the vibe that I was getting from this album so far, Into the Coven comes right back on track. Because the way this song played out, especially with the instrumental breaks, it does play like a movie in my mind. It was like, I don't know, a witch or somebody, an acolyte, enticing you to come into his coven. And when you get there, it's like they perform this ritual, undresses you naked, it puts you in white cloak, makes you drink the blood, crush the cross. Oh man, this song is deep. Suck the blood. And then you have to chant, my soul belongs to Satan. Woo! Oh man. This is wild. And what makes it wild is, even for today's standards, music artists don't even go there. But for the 80s, parents had to be losing their minds. I can imagine some of the teenagers probably wouldn't listen to this shit. They had to be freaking out. I want to know in the comment section, if you had this album or one of your friends did, what were they talking about? This had to be big shit. 1983, Ozzy came out with Bark at the Moon. I know Iron Maiden released an album. I think Metallica did Kill 'Em All. And Megadeth's Killing Is My Business. I think all of those came out in 83. Let me see. Oh, that came out in Megadeth came out in 85. Let me see. Kill 'Em All. Kill 'Em All came out in 83. But even with Kill 'Em All from Metallica, I know people weren't talking about crush the cross, suck the blood, worship Satan. Oh man, that's so funny. So yeah, this is wild. Yeah, all right, we're gonna continue, y'all. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Oh, you said Ozzy was taking all the heat? Oh, wow. Well, I guess maybe Mercyful Fate was still kind of underground, because there's no way you would have gotten away with this mainstream. Yeah, I think even like a lot of bands, they use the imagery, but they don't talk about it. So yeah, there's no way this would have been mainstream. All right, let's see what's next. And this, you know what? And surprisingly, we've done King Diamond Abigail one Halloween. So I think this is very fitting for a Halloween album reaction. Okay, this is a sound of the demon ball or demon bell. Okay, gotcha. I need glasses. Oh, at the sound of the demon bell. And the music, like I said, is pretty groovy for evil music. Guys, this was At the Sound of the Demon Bell. This was an incredibly interesting song, especially since the lyrical content is very dark. But something that I enjoy about this band is how rhythmic and how groovy the tracks are. And from what I can hear is and I guess this is to be expected, how the band has the roots of rock and roll. Because although this is heavy metal, there's a lot of rock in here. And something else that I've noticed with all the tracks is that they have extended solos and instrumental breaks, which is good. That's a trait from rock and roll. Yeah, it's very rock and roll. Because in metal songs, they do have guitar solos, but they typically don't have extended guitar solos or even instrumental breaks. And so to me, this is kind of like King Diamond's, it's like their own version of rock and roll. And of course, it's like the bridge between rock and roll and heavy metal. And I'm pretty sure in their later albums, they don't do that. Because for those of y'all who, know about my rock streams and how much I love rock and roll, one of the things that I thoroughly enjoy about the genre is how they give the guitarist, they give the bass player, and even the drummer their time to shine. It's not always about the lead singer and what the lead singer can do, but how the band can play. And so when I hear this, I'm hearing the band showing off their chops. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the rock and roll elements that I'm picking up in the music that we're listening to. But anyway, we're going to keep things going. Y'all can leave your thoughts and your numbers in the chat. Let me know what you thought about this song. This is Black Funeral. Let's go. That galloping bass line. guys, this was Black Funeral. Y'all can leave your thoughts and your numbers in the chat. Let me know what you thought about this song. I thought this song was really good. Falls in line with the theme of the album so far. Or, yeah. This evil album. In a way, I kind of feel like this could have easily been like a concept album. But some of the tracks don't flow the way that I think they should flow. Because this is obviously like a continuation of Into the Coven. And it feels like it. It feels like a continuation of that story. But the songs in between kind of, you know, throw off the story. But anyway, let's continue. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, it was 2 minutes and 50 seconds long. I felt like it was too short. Should have been a little bit longer. But I was vibing with this. All right, this is Satan's Fall. Guys, that was Satan's Fall from Mercyful Fate. Y'all can leave your thoughts and your numbers in the chat. Let me know what you thought about this song. So initially, this was the song that Skates requested from me, and I said that I sampled through it the first 30 seconds, and this is what kind of triggered or inspired me to do this album reaction. And so far, this album hasn't disappointed. I thoroughly enjoyed this song. And it's mainly because of the roots this band has with rock and roll. As I mentioned earlier, I love the instrumental breaks. I love the solos. I really love when a band can tell a story through the music alone. And not many bands can do that. Now, that is a trait from the 70s. Because 70s artists were allowed to be a little bit more creative, where they could have longer songs. This song was about 11 minutes. And typically nowadays, bands create songs that are like, 4 minutes and 30 seconds or less. But I loved how they allowed this song to kind of breathe. And through that, it was able to take you on a journey. Because for me, I had the lyrics up and I was reading some of them, but I was really kind of letting the music take me away. But for me, it felt like a continuation of the previous songs where this acolyte is taking this person to hell. And it felt like going on a journey through hell. Now, that might not be what it's about, but that's what it felt like to me. And I think it's really cool when artists or bands, they can do that with their music, when they can paint a picture or create kind of like a movie in your mind. It's a very unique experience, I think, that's kind of lost with music nowadays. Because when you think about it, for a lot of bands that came after this, especially with modern metal, what it's turned into is like a growl fest. A lot of bands, they want to be like, rah, 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 and it's become such a gimmick to where bands will growl and they'll try to make dark, snarky music. But a lot of times it doesn't display the talent of the band. With this, these motherfuckers can play. If they're not playing metal music, these guys could easily play jazz, they could easily play rock and roll, and they can play blues. Like, you can hear the talent within the solos, within the drumming, just everything. And I think that's why they can create music that tells a story. Yeah. I think for Mercyful Fate, the gimmick is kind of like evil, satanic, whatever. But aside from that, these guys they're talented. They are some talented ass artists. And yeah, that's all I can say. Compared to a lot of other bands that are out now or came out after this, where they're kind of good and maybe they go off of the imagery. You can hear it. Mercyful Fate has these guys are really talented. So yeah. It's almost like a super group. Yeah. There's no weak links in this. As I said, the vocals, it's kind of an acquired taste. But even if you tune out the vocals, because the way King Diamond sings, or especially when he hits those falsetto notes, he tries to use his vocals as an instrument. It goes very well. Adds a lot of melody to the music. Anyway, enough rambling. We're going to get to the last track on this album. This is Melissa. Let's go. This intro too. Woo. He's singing.
Satan's cross upon the wall. Strange between two candles.
Now I hear the black metal elements. Now I'm getting the black metal vibe. shit. Okay. This was a great track from beginning to end. Very powerful. Very emotional. I love this intro. It starts off very slow, very melodic. King Diamond comes in with the vocals. Dude is singing. I love it. But the whole vibe of this track is incredibly haunting. This guy is wailing in pain. He is grief stricken. They have taken his love, Melissa, and I believe they burned her at the stake because they believe she was a witch. Maybe she was a witch. And so he said, I swear revenge. I swear revenge on the priest. Oh, the priest must die because he's taken my love. He says, he must die in the name of hell. And so it continues after that. And it's almost like he's still looking for his love, Melissa. And he's, Melissa, can you hear me? Melissa, are you there? And he's searching and he's looking and he's like, where is my love, Melissa? And he goes outside and there's nothing outside. Nothing but a stake. So it was almost like she was burnt to a crisp. There was nothing. And then she says, they taken my love away from me. But then at the end, in the last verse, let me see. It was like a whisper. I think she's still with us. Oh, that's so good. Oh, chef's kiss. All right. So I thought this was an incredibly good album. I would say it's a masterpiece, but it's not. So far, I still consider Abigail better than this. Because of the storytelling and the flow. And I feel like what would have made this album better is if it was a concept album. If the story kind of flowed the way it should have. Or wait. No, that's wrong. Because even the story of Melissa could have been a part of the concept. It could have been a part of the story from beginning to end. But instead, when we get songs like Evil and then we get into the Coven and what was the other song? Black Funeral. It was almost like those songs were connected. But then songs like Curse of the Pharaoh and At the Sound of Demon Bell was okay, but mainly Curse of the Pharaoh. Curse of the Pharaoh kind of like threw me out a little bit. And I kind of feel like it didn't belong within this album. And maybe they just added it on there just to kind of make the album 40 minutes long and have, 7 or 8 tracks. But the going by the theme of all the other songs, Curse of the Pharaoh kind of didn't fit for me. So I will say that it was my least favorite track on this album. But my favorite, oh man. I don't know, because I like certain tracks for the characteristics that they had. Like I like Satan's Fall for the storytelling and the quality of the music. Into the Coven, that was such a good. I don't know, like. It was just a creepy, eerie song that just lured me in. And if I was listening to this album again, I would probably listen to Into the Coven and then follow it up by Black Funeral. And then Melissa. That was such a good standalone song. I don't know, y'all. I guess maybe Into the Coven. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna say "Into the Coven" and "Black Funeral" are my favorite songs on this album, and because "Black Funeral" is so small, short, I'll have to like put it together with "Into the Coven." But then again, I don't know. Satan's Fall was it? I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. "Into the Coven," and maybe it might change from day to day. All right. So now that this has me pumped, this has me excited because while I was listening to Melissa, I had this epiphany of like a light bulb went off because I started hearing the black metal elements. Because when I was reading up on this band and I heard that Mercyful Fate was an influence to a lot of black metal that came after, along with Venom and Bathory. And so throughout this listening, I've been trying to hear those elements, in which I heard mostly rock and roll and of course heavy metal. But Melissa was the main track where I really heard those echoey, eerie vibes that you get in black metal. And I was like, oh shit, that was it. This is what influenced a lot of the bands that came after. So yeah, very good. But anyway, guys, I want to thank y'all so very much. Huge shout out to Skates. Huge shout out to Skates for putting me onto this album. Because as you all know, I've been on a metal journey for quite some time, and I learned something new every time. And I love that I get the opportunity to kind of go back and hear the bands that influenced the bands that came after. So yeah, this was fun, especially for Halloween. This was very fitting for Halloween. But I hope you guys enjoy the reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Really quick, for those of y'all who had this album when it came out, or maybe you heard about it through a friend, what was the reception? What were people saying? Or maybe this was underground and you had it on bootleg. But I'm curious to know y'all's thoughts about what the streets. What were the streets talking about when this album came out? Because as we said, Ozzy's Bark at the Moon was already dropping. Metallica Kill 'Em All had came out. There were a lot of monster albums that came out. A lot of metal albums that came out in '83. And so I'm kind of curious what the reception was. Because I know parents weren't having it. I know a lot of bands weren't talking about the content that they were talking about in this band, because a lot of this shit for the '80s was incredibly evil, even to today's standards. And it's funny because people can make songs about murder, they can make songs about assault, but when it comes to religion, when it comes to Satan and things like that, it's very taboo, especially in music. And so I know in the '80s, parents had to be flipping the fuck out. The government probably was flipping the fuck out. It was like, no, we take this Danish shit back over to Europe. We don't want our American, good, God-fearing American children listening to this. All right, let me see in the comment section. What was everybody talking about? He said it was underground. Not too many people knew about it. I figured that. I figured this was probably underground, and the only way you were probably getting your hands on it was through a bootleg. He said, I have very little love for black metal, but Mercyful Fate definitely had an influence on the genre. Yeah, absolutely. I can hear it. He said, I had the CD, or I had it on vinyl and on CD, but I hear in the beginning before I hear in the beginning before I heard Melissa. Oh, okay. Well, I think King Diamond was a part of another band, Black Rose or something like that, before Mercyful Fate. He said I was 5 when it came out. Yeah. Well, I'm not talking to the 5-year-olds. I'm talking about the people who are teenagers. Because I know that, the way music spread back then, you probably heard something and went to school, or you had your buddies and you were like, guys, yo, you got to check this shit out. This is crazy. And then, you go home, you got posters hanging up in your wall and everything. And maybe your parents, they didn't know about the music per se, but the way kids are, teenagers especially, you're wearing the t-shirts or you're hanging up the posters in your wall in your room. And my thing is, if I was a parent in the 80s and I came home and my kid had a picture of Eddie from Iron Maiden, or Vic Rattlehead, or a poster of Melissa with a flaming demon skull, I would freak the fuck out. I'd be like, yo, Billy, what the fuck are you doing? He'd be like, shut up, Dad. You don't understand me. I'm so alone in this world. All I have is me and Satan. I'd be like, what? Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Happy Halloween. I will be doing a Halloween Metal Meltdown this week on Friday. I'm hoping, because some stuff came up last Friday and I wasn't able to stream, and so my goal is to stream Metal Meltdown this Friday. If not, then I'll probably do it Saturday. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, guys. Thank y'all so very much for hanging out with me tonight. Once again, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. And if you're a metalhead and you've never hung out with me before, come hang out for Metal Meltdown. Like, we do this. We play music. We talk shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a good time. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good night.